We all need different things at different points in time. And since it's not possible for us to make all of those things by ourselves, we depend on others to provide us with those products and services. That is how the barter system was set up, and money has since become the primary mode for exchange. So what are the things that we desire the most? Let's take a look at the best-selling things in the world. Number 18. PlayStation. Be it kids or adults, the PlayStation is definitely one of the most endearing things we can own. It gives us countless hours of fun and bonding with friends as well. And while there have been many versions, all of them have been pretty popular, and many have even upgraded to keep up with the latest in gaming. It is estimated that around 320 million units of the different models of the PlayStation have been sold to date. Yes, we all like to have a good game every now and then. Number 17. The Rubik's Cube. Mind twisters have always been fascinating. Be it kids or adults, the pleasure that we get from actually solving the Rubik's Cube cannot be described in words, and the repeated failed attempts might lead to a lot of frustration, but it just means that people come back for another try. So much so that it has become the largest selling toy in the world, and 350 million units have been sold already. And to think it was originally developed to teach 3D geometry. Number 16. Corolla. In 1966, Japan witnessed a new car. It was a stylish car and was a much desired one, even as far away as the US, where it launched in 1968. The car was the Corolla by Toyota, and it has become one of the highest selling products in the market since then. From the time that it hit the market, the Corolla had sold 40.7 million units, which is the highest for any car. Constant upgrades over the years have ensured that the Corolla remains one of the most sought-after cars in the world. Number 15. Star Wars. An epic saga that changed the way movies used VFX, Star Wars is a franchise that has many passionate fans. So much so that even decades after its initial release, it is still one of the most loved films ever. And that, of course, means big money. Collectively, the Star Wars franchise has raked in total sales of $4.6 billion, and that includes movie tickets, memorabilia, and others. And considering that the new movies have also been extremely popular, this number can only be expected to go upwards. Number 14. iPad. While tablets were all the rage at one time, with many companies entering the market, there are only a select few players remaining today, and none of them stands as tall as the iPad. It is estimated that around 211 million iPads have been sold to date, and even though their popularity has diminished since its initial release thanks to phones that are getting smarter every day, an iPad is still a pretty envious thing to own. Not to mention that it keeps getting upgrades every now and then, and is a real convenient gadget to carry around. Number 13. The Mario Bros. Franchise. In 1981, the Donkey Kong arcade saw the debut of a new game, Super Mario. And it sparked off a worldwide love for the game, which featured a plumber running through countless obstacles to save the princess. Since its debut, it is featured in 115 titles, and also has its own cartoon series. More than 262 million units of the game have been sold till now, and considering that its popularity hasn't really waned, we guess that Mario will be around for much longer. Number 12. Michael Jackson's Thriller. If the title of the King of Pop is deserved by anyone, it is Michael Jackson. The insane amount of talent that he possessed will probably never be seen again since his demise, but that does not mean that his popularity has taken a hit. His album Thriller is not just the best-selling album of all time, but has also ushered in the entire MTV generation. More than 70 million copies of the album have been sold to date, and the moonwalking legend still has a long way to go. Number 11. Harry Potter. Considering that it is in fact a book, many bibliophiles will be happy that it found its way onto this list. The endearing tale of young wizards fighting evil ones made many kids hope for a letter on their 11th birthday. And while that may not have happened, they were still in love with the books and the movies. So much so that the movies have earned a combined $7.7 billion, while the books sold 450 million copies. Not to mention the action figures and the spin-offs. And perhaps the best example to gauge its success is that people actually lined up for hours to get the latest copy of the book. Number 10. The iPhone. The catch line of Apple. If you don't have an iPhone, you don't have an iPhone. It actually captured the sentiments of its loyal followers pretty well. Owning an iPhone is all the rage today in the world, and you are kind of looked down upon if you don't actually own one. As many as 516 million people have bought iPhones to date, and the company has been banking on its success to bring out more and more upgraded phones into the market. And each time, the launch of an iPhone is a big deal, and we may not be very surprised that many of you are actually watching this on an iPhone. Number 9. Memory cards. With the world going digital, we all need a place to store our data. Be it phones, cameras, or even music players, an SD card is something we cannot do without. Where would all our holiday pictures go otherwise? And while there are many players in the segment, SanDisk has emerged as the leader. So much so that it has almost become synonymous with memory cards. An easy way to gauge success is that Western Digital recently acquired SanDisk with a $19 billion deal. Number 8. Tide detergent. We all wear clothes, and they all get dirty. So obviously, any product that helps us wash them is definitely going to be something that's used a lot. And it turns out that it is Tide, which is the most used detergent in the world. It was first introduced in 1946, and since then, total sales have been estimated at a mind-boggling $77 billion. So huge is the market share of Tide that in the US, its next biggest competitor is almost half its size. Tide's riding the ride after all, it seems. Number 7. Microsoft Office. Of course this one had to feature on this list. All of us are using its products. Be it on phones or on computers, as Word or PowerPoint or Excel or Outlook, MS Office is the highest selling software in the world. 1.2 billion people in the world are using Microsoft Office on a day-to-day basis. What makes it so popular is that not only is it just Microsoft Windows that uses it, but even Mac users cannot work without having MS Office. Talk about a universal product, right? Number 6. Lay's. Chips are the ultimate munching food. Whether it is watching a movie, or a game, or a drive, or just idling around, nothing is complete without having a packet of chips. So much so that around 663 million bags of chips are sold every year. Want to put it in perspective? If all the Lay's packets sold every year are collected, the accumulated weight would be more than an aircraft carrier. Number 5. Marlboro. No matter how many researchers and scientists and doctors tell you that smoking is harmful, smokers will always smoke. And in the days before the ads were banned, a lot of credit for people taking up smoking could go to the Marlboro Man, as he was absolutely the man we all wanted to be. And even though he is no longer visible, there is little doubt that Marlboro remains one of the most smoked cigarettes in the world today. In fact, if you total up the sales from Marlboro and adjust it for inflation, you would get an astounding figure of $5 trillion. Imagine that much money going up in smoke. Quite literally. Number 4. Angry Birds. Games are always fascinating and a great way to kill time. And one game that really caught everyone's fancy was Angry Birds. There was a time when everyone was playing it. 2 billion people in the world downloaded this game. That means if you assume that one person downloaded the game once, 1 out of every 3 people in the world have used it. And with numbers that big, we wonder if the Angry Birds are smiling on the inside. Number 3. Colgate. All of us have teeth, and we all like to take care of them, so we will always have them. And Colgate has especially emerged as the #1 brand to do that. It is estimated that Colgate is already used by 2/3 of the households in the world. But has that huge market share slowed them down? Not really, because they have recently gained 40 million additional households. That basically means that every time we grin and bear it, the smiles of Colgate owners get wider as well. Number 2. Boeing 737. While the 747 may be the popular sibling from Boeing, in terms of pure numbers, the 737 is the rightful king. It was first introduced in 1968 and has since sold 13,000 jets. And if you take into account that the cost for each jet is $62 million, that makes for a whopping $936 billion in raw sales. Yes, flying is actually much more in demand than we give it credit for. Number 1. Coca-Cola. If there is one thing that is a given whenever you're having a meal or a takeout, It's Coca-Cola. The soft drink has actually become a worldwide phenomenon, and it is estimated that 2 out of every 8 people in the world drink Coke every day. That is almost 1.8 billion servings every day. And with so much business, it is hardly a surprise that the actual Coca-Cola recipe is one of the most heavily guarded secrets in the world. So those were some of the things that people have been using a lot around the world. And we are sure that you must also have used either one or more of these brands. Do let us know why you think they are so popular in the comments section below. And remember to subscribe to our channel to get the latest updates on all our videos.